This is a cool novel, How to Be So Cool. Don't refer to reality, parallel world, single female lead, important things to say 3 times. Sign in at the beginning and get a financial street with an annual rent of 20 billion yuan. Have I reached the pinnacle of my life? Ding, successfully signed in and became the fiancé AE of Tianlong Group. What? Can you still sign in for the richest wife? Keywords of the novel. No pop-ups in the check.in system at the beginning, full download of the txt file in the check.in system at the beginning, and reading of the latest chapters in the check.in system at the beginning. 1. Chapter 1. A Financial Street, for Recommendation and Collection. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 1. A Financial Street, Seeking Recommendation, Seeking Collection, P.S. Newcomers, new books, new works, please take good care of them. In July, the scorching sun in the sky is like fire. Fan Yu woke up from his sleep, and when he saw everything around him, he was so unfamiliar. The room is no longer his rudimentary rental house, but a luxurious 3-bedroom apartment of over 100 square meters, with very high-end and upscale decoration inside. Countless unfamiliar memories immediately surfaced in my mind, including the happy moments of childhood, the carefree time in school, and the cruel society after graduating from college. Each scene flickered like a movie slide in my mind. Ding, the check.in system has been successfully bound. Is the host checking in? The sudden appearance of a strange voice surprised Fan Yu. However, after experiencing the bombardment of online literature in his past life, when he realized it, he already knew the environment he was currently in. Time traveled. Got the system. Sign in. Whether it's true or just a dream, agree first before proceeding. Ding, the host has successfully signed in. Considering the host's first sign in, a super large gift package will be rewarded. Do you want to open it? Open. Open the gift package and congratulate the host on obtaining the property rights of the Magic City Financial Street. Cough cough. Fan Yu, who had just poured a glass of water out of bed, couldn't help but cough violently. Financial Street property rights. The property rights of the entire Financial Street. Although he doesn't know what level the Financial Street is at in the Magic City, a Financial Street is definitely a huge asset. Pick up your phone, enter your password to open it, and start checking information about Financial Street. Financial Street, located in the Magic City, ranks 4th in the world and is the gathering center of wealth for the entire Magic City. It has created tens of thousands of billionaires, second only to Central Hong Kong Island, Shengjing International Financial Street, and Wall Street in the United States. The Magic City Financial Street is also a disdainful presence at the top of the chain. The Financial Street is located in the Modu PDX area and the Lujiazui Financial and Trade Zone. The Lujiazui Financial and Trade Zone is the only national-level development zone in China named Financial and Trade, established in Pudong, Magic City after the development and opening up of Pudong in 1990. The Trade Zone is located in Pudong, Magic City, separated by a river from the Bund of Puxi. It is surrounded by the mother river of Magic City, the Huangpu River, and the inner ring road of Magic City, covering an area of 2 million square meters. The Lujiazui Financial and Trade Zone is one of the main financial centers of Huaguo Magic City, located on the Huangpu River in PDX district, facing the Bund of Magic City. The entire Financial Street has 108 completed buildings, making it the first national-level financial development zone in China. The main business is foreign-funded financial institutions, and all foreign-funded financial and trade offices must be located on the Financial Street, which is also the headquarters of many foreign-funded banks. Currently, HSBC, Citibank, Standard Chartered Bank, DBS Bank, Bank of East Asia, and others have taken their seats. It is a collaborative design between world-renowned planning and design experts and planning experts from Magic City. It embodies the wisdom of all planning masters from China, Britain, France, Japan, Italy and other countries, reflecting the advanced level of contemporary planning and design. It is the banner of Magic City Finance. After reading the information about the Magic City Financial Street, Fan Yu put down his phone, but his emotions were difficult to calm for a long time. For an ordinary white-collar worker who can only earn 20,000 yuan per month, suddenly becoming a renter on the entire financial street of Magic City is definitely no less than a huge sum of money, winning the lottery, and even bigger than those who come. After calming his mind, Fan Yu put on his clothes and quickly rushed downstairs, took a taxi, and rushed to Financial Street. System, how should I take over the property rights of Financial Street? Sitting in a taxi, Fan Yu still doesn't know how to take over the property rights of Financial Street. He can't go to Financial Street and just say this is mine when he sees people. He will definitely be mistaken for a fool. The handover of property rights in Financial Street has been fully managed by the Financial Street Property Company. Someone will contact you to send the property rights certificate and information. So simple. Fan Yu couldn't believe it, the value of an entire Financial Street could no longer be measured in money. He didn't expect it to be so simple for him to take over the entire Financial Street. Arriving at the Financial Street, Fan Yu casually found a coffee shop and sat down, waiting quietly. A wave of mobile phone ringtones rang. Strange numbers emerge. Fan Yu answered the phone. Hello, is that Fan Yu, Mr. Fan? Fan Yu replied, yes, may I ask who you are? Oh, hello. I am Lu Jian, the general manager of Caesar Financial Property Liability Company. I have sorted out the information of Caesar Financial Street. Where is Mr. Fan now? I will send it to you. Tell Lu Jian his location and hang up the phone. A few minutes later, a middle-aged man with a suit collar and golden glasses walked into the coffee shop. Lu Jian glanced around and walked straight towards Fan Yu. Excuse me, is this Mr. Fan Yu Fan? Fan Yu nodded and said, General Manager Lu, please take a seat. Seeing Fan Yu, Lu Jian felt a bit reserved. Caesar Property Responsibility Company is serving Financial Street, and Fan Yu is the new owner of Financial Street, which is his new boss, so he needs to be treated with respect. Opening the briefcase, Lu Jian handed over the property rights certificate and transfer documents of Caesar Financial Street to Fan Yu. That stack of materials is very thick, and at first glance, it gives him a feeling of being overwhelmed. He plans to take it back and take a closer look to gain a detailed understanding of the Financial Street. After all, the Financial Street will be his industry in the future, so how can he do it without understanding it? However, Lu Jian was shocked to see Fan Yu casually throwing aside the property rights information of the Financial Street. Although it was just a few pieces of paper, its value may make the owner instantly become a top figure in the Magic City. But this boss seems to be completely indifferent, truly deserving of the ability to become a Financial Street boss. Absolutely, it is the existence that brings Mount Taishan to the top without changing its face. Suppressing the shock in his heart, Lu Jian said. Mr. Fan, the annual rent for Financial Street will be transferred to your account by our company's finance department. And there is also your exclusive office building on Financial Street. Although Fan Yu's heart had already been shaken beyond measure, he was still striving to maintain his composure as the largest landlord in the Magic City. What is the annual income of Financial Street? Lu Jian cautiously replied, Mr. Fan, the Magic Capital Financial Street has a total of 2 million square meters and 108 commercial buildings, of which more than 80% are commercial offices. These areas gather more than 2,000 financial institutions and headquarters of large state-owned enterprises represented by national financial management departments, large commercial banks, insurance groups, securities firms, funds, and important market institutions, involving 90% of the country's credit funds. The annual rent is approximately 20 billion yuan. The reason why Lu Jian cannot provide accurate rental income is because the rental company may experience changes, such as bankruptcy or inability to pay rent due to poor business. If those companies leave, the occupancy rate of commercial buildings will decrease, which will also lead to inaccurate statistics of rental income. Seeking recommendation and collecting. End of this chapter. Chapter 2. Resignation. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 2 Resignation. Dong dong, dong dong. Fan Yu's heart was beating rapidly, with a feeling of wanting to pinch someone. 20 billion. How are you making money? Can you collect 20 billion yuan in rent per year? In fact, what Fan Yu didn't know was that the rent on the entire financial street was really just that much. It should be noted that the Magic City Financial Street is the center of wealth gathering, with state-owned banks and private enterprises all crowded onto the Magic City Financial Street. It can be said that the business that earns money is all in the financial street. The annual rent for a building needs to reach 100 million yuan, and some high-end 5A level office buildings are even more expensive, reaching over 200 million yuan. Therefore, the annual rent of 20 billion yuan is not much. No matter how huge the waves were in his heart, Fan Yu was suppressing his emotions because he was already prepared for it after knowing he had a system. After speaking, Lu Jian waited carefully without any impatience. He dared not show any signs of being such a big shot and head boss. After regaining his senses, Fan Yu smiled and said, "Mr. Lu, take me to the office building." Financial Street is a unique office building, and it's not clear how luxurious it will be. He's very eager to see what the world of Shenhao is like now. Lu Jian quickly and respectfully said, "Okay, Mr. Fan." In the parking lot outside the Starbucks restaurant, Lu Jian took out the car key and lit a Mercedes-Benz S450. "Mr. Fan, please." Lu Jian opened the car door and invited Fan Yu to board. Fan Yu sat generously in the back seat, and Lu Jian quickly got into the car to start. 108 buildings converge on the entire financial street, creating a towering and magnificent atmosphere. Fan Yu looked at the scenery outside the car with great interest. From now on, this was his own place, and there were also 20 billion yuan of funds about to arrive. Thinking about it, he couldn't hide his excitement. My own office building is an 88-story building, and there is an independent villa on the top of the building, which can take a panoramic view of the entire financial street. Standing there is a sense of domineering criticism from Fang Zun. In the financial street document bag given by Lu Jian, there is an ID card for entering the villa. Just take out your ID card and open the villa, a huge living room appears in front of you. The living room alone is over 300 square meters, like a palace hall. Fan Yu nodded slightly and said, "Not bad, quite satisfied." "Alright, go ahead and get busy. I'll take care of it myself." Lu Jian respectfully left. The whole villa was left with only himself, and Fan Yu finally couldn't bear it anymore. Haha. Crazy laughter echoed throughout the villa, but to his surprise, he was just a loser in his past life. Over time, he became a top-tier tycoon in the Magic City, and in addition, he earned an annual rent of 20 billion yuan from a rental company. The luxurious villa, sky garden, outdoor swimming pool, four-story duplex villa, wine cellar filled with red wine, fully intelligent management system, everything is so shocking. Opening the cloakroom, the clothes inside are even top-notch brands from around the world, with hundreds of expensive suits made entirely by foreign handcrafts. And all of them are brand new, as if they were specially tailored for him by the owner of this villa. The people who can live here are truly enjoying themselves like emperors. His standalone office building is the tallest building on Financial Street, and even the neighboring Thompson First Class can be seen clearly. For Tang Chen Epine buildings are located next to Financial Street, on the banks of the Huangpu River, offering a panoramic view of the entire Huangpu River. After being excited, Fan Yu's mentality finally slowly changed. With such an identity, it was time to change his personality and not use the old loser's methods to act anymore. Mount Taishan should collapse in front of us without changing color. Yes, even if Mount Taishan collapses, we can't change color. Entering the spacious and atmospheric study, Fan Yu took out the Financial Street information and started reading it. The annual capital flow of the entire Financial Street exceeds 1 trillion yuan, with over 200 listed companies and more than 50 companies with billions of assets, including many giant enterprises with billions of assets. As for financial giants such as HSBC, there is no need to have a detailed understanding, as their names themselves represent wealth. The total assets of the entire Financial Street have reached several trillion yuan, and he owns this Financial Street, which is the most beautiful guy in the world. After reading all the information, Fan Yu carefully locked the Financial Street information and property rights procedures in the safe, which was his lifeline and must not be lost. At this moment, he is the landlord of those financial giants. Yes, he is the kind of landlord who increases rent when he is unhappy and moves out when he is unhappy. The strongest rental company. Just as Fan Yu was busy with everything, it seemed like he hadn't checked in yet today. I'm already the boss of the Financial Street now, doesn't it seem like I don't need to work anymore? Resignation. Yes, it means resigning. It's all the boss now. What class are you still working on? It's impossible to work in this lifetime. According to the original owner's memory, it seems that his workplace is on Financial Street, but it is a small company called Aoshu Photon Technology Company. The annual rent for the company is over 500,000 yuan, and it's just a small office area of only over 100 square meters, which can be said to be an inch of land, an inch of gold. If it weren't for the year after graduating from university, he would probably have been unable to persist in expanding the company's business. In fact, small companies like the one he works for should not rent office areas on Financial Street. If they don't make money, just 1 year of rent can crush them. But Financial Street is a sign, and the company's office here represents its identity, which greatly improves the company's performance. Many customers don't look at how good your company's products are, but at your company's strength. Even if you are a small company on Financial Street, it is more convincing than those big companies outside Financial Street. This is the signature effect. After all, the Financial Street has created tens of thousands of billionaires and has already become a miracle, representing wealth. The office building where he works, Baolon Building, is not far from Fan Yu's exclusive office building. Arriving downstairs, Fan Yu walked directly for less than 10 minutes and arrived at the bottom of the Baolon Building. With such a close distance, there was no need to drive the Mercedes S450 left by Lu Jian. Looking at the fiery Cadillac CT6 in the parking lot, Fan Yu curved his lips and walked in. Fan Yu is very handsome, with a masculine and handsome appearance. The more he looks, the more he wants to be. At this point, Fan Yu had already put on Armani casual clothes and casually found a brand new watch that no one had ever worn in the villa, which was stuck on his wrist. Arriving at the 7th floor of the Baolon Building, the elevator door opened and Fan Yu walked out. This is the floor where Aoshu Photon Technology Company is located. However, upon arriving at the company gate, I was surprised to see countless former colleagues walking in and out of their file boxes. Xiao He, are you here? The colleague shook his head and sighed when he saw Fan Yu, saying, Fan Yu, you don't know. This morning, the company announced bankruptcy, and the director of the Financial Street Property Management Company came to collect rent. The boss couldn't afford the rent and has been ordered to forcibly move out of the Financial Street. Bankruptcy so fast. Fan Yu is still preparing to resign. Unexpectedly, the company went bankrupt directly. Isn't he not required to submit a resignation letter? A pure-looking woman suddenly bumped into Fan Yu's arms. I'm sorry. The woman quickly apologized, but when she looked up and saw it was Fan Yu, her eyes lit up in vain. Fan Yu. I'll go, I feel like you're so handsome today, Fan Yu. This outfit, this watch. Tell me quickly, did you win the lottery? Fan Yu used to be very handsome, but today when he changed into Armani casual clothes, he became even more handsome and looked even more stunning. Yang Shuang, why did the company go bankrupt? Didn't yesterday be okay? The front desk of the company, who was mesmerized by Fan Yu's words, couldn't help but take a look and blush as he said, "The boss's supply of goods has been stuck overseas, and the customer's order has just expired. The boss has paid a large amount of liquidated damages, and the company's capital chain has broken, so it went bankrupt this morning." Sure enough, there's still a problem. Although Fan Yu has just graduated from college, he has also told Zhang Qian about the potential dangers of the company. Photon products themselves have a small market in the domestic market, and if you want to make money, you can only use foreign products. If foreign sources are blocked, the company may collapse in an instant. I didn't expect his guess to come true. Although the bankruptcy of the company had little to do with him, he felt a bit regretful. It was a company he had worked hard for a year after graduation. He is the manager of the business department, and most of the company's business is signed by him, which is highly appreciated by the boss Zhang Qian. I thought I could rely on my own efforts to develop and grow the company, but in the end, I went bankrupt. Where is Sister Qian? Fan Yu asked. Yang Shuang said, "It's in the office." General Manager's office. Fan Yu tapped lightly. A slightly sobbing voice came from the office. "Please come in." Fan Yu pushed open the door and walked in. It was a compact office, the kind of independent glass-isolated office. "Qianjie, what's wrong with you?" Just now outside the office, Fan Yu heard something wrong with the sound. When he came in and saw Zhang Qian's eyes turning red, he couldn't help but ask. Zhang Qian squeezed out a smile and shook her head, saying, "It's okay, it's just that she's a bit reluctant to part with the company she's been working hard for a year." Fan Yu sighed. The bankruptcy of a company cannot be stopped by anyone. He has been working for Zhang Qian's company since graduating from college. At that time, the Arcane company had just been established. One is ambitious, the other is inexperienced, passionate, and there is no generation gap, both full of hope for the company. Fan Yu's position in the company is equivalent to that of a dragon's minister. When he first started running business, he added mineral water and bread, while Zhang Qian stayed up and dealt with the company's affairs all day. The two of them worked tirelessly and finally put the company on track in half a year, with monthly sales reaching over 700,000 yuan. But to my surprise, I thought the company was going to prosper and break through annual sales of millions. Suddenly, foreign countries blocked the supply of goods, causing a devastating blow to Aoshu Company. A large amount of liquidated damages were paid, directly leading to the bankruptcy of Aoshu, and even Zhang Qian's investment company's 3 million yuan was not recovered. "Sister Qian, we are still young and have time to work hard. Don't give up." Fan Yu didn't know how to comfort him, so he could only encourage him. Zhang Qian forced a smile and said, "Thank you, Xiao Yu. I'm just a bit sorry for you. Your efforts to the company have not been rewarded yet, so it's just a waste." Fan Yu smiled faintly and said, "It's okay. Although I haven't gained much in the past year, I have gained social experience. If it weren't for running a business and encountering various people, how could I have grown so fast? Well, I will definitely make a comeback." End of this chapter. 3, Chapter 3 Taking Over Arcane Art. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 3 Taking Over Arcane Art. The next day, Fan Yu received a prompt from the system, Task Distribution. Considering that the host is too comfortable, please start the entrepreneurial mode, and the sign-in reward has a chance to obtain Super Enterprise shares. What kind of thing encourages me to start a business? Do you not want me to be a salted fish without dreams? But the system requires him to start a business, just start a business. With the entire financial street, network, and abundant funds, is he still afraid that he won't be able to start a business? However, his entrepreneurial ideas are too limited, and he doesn't know where to start first. Since that's the case, why not start with an Olympiad math company first? After all, he is familiar with Olympiad math business. Do whatever comes to mind. Arriving downstairs and sitting inside the Mercedes S450, Fan Yu rushed towards Aoshu Company. A few minutes later, Fan Yu parked his car downstairs at the Baolon building and walked in. At this point, the Arcane company was left with an empty shell, only the office was bustling. Seeing Zhang Qian packing up her last belongings, Fan Yu walked in and said, "Sister Qian, don't be busy. You will still be the general manager of the company in the future." Zhang Qian turned around when she heard the voice and looked at Fan Yu in confusion. "Xiaoyu, what are you talking about? The company has already gone bankrupt, why should I still be the general manager?" Fan Yu shook his head and said, "Sister Qian, maybe the company can't go bankrupt because I'm planning to take over the company." Zhang Qian stepped forward and touched Fan Yu's forehead, wondering, "There's no fever. Why did you start talking nonsense? The company can't even afford rent anymore, why are you taking over the company? Even if the company belongs to you now, where are you going to get the rent money?" She knows that Fan Yu has some small savings, but taking over the company is not enough trouble, is it? The rent alone is 500,000 yuan, maybe Fan Yu can't even afford the rent. And there are also issues with the company's operations. If Fan Yu reluctantly takes over, she will also lose money. She treats Fan Yu, a new student who has just stepped out of school, as her younger brother and doesn't want him to be tricked. Fan Yu knew that Zhang Qian was doing it for his own good, and he felt good about himself. He took out his phone and said, "Forget it, I'm not hiding anything. In fact, I'm a wealthy second generation, and coming out to work is just to experience life. I have a strong emotional attachment to this company and don't want it to go bankrupt, so I'm ready to take over." After speaking, Fan Yu took out the bank SMS balance from his phone. Account ****** 3,345 transferred 4 billion yuan on March 10, 2020 at 18.30, with a current balance of 4,009,120.10 yuan. Seeing the string of zeros in the text message, Zhang Qian took a deep breath. 4 billion. Zhang Qian has never seen so much money in her life, even on TV. And after confirming again and again, it is indeed the SMS balance sent by the bank, so it cannot be fake at all. "Xiaoyu, are you really a second-generation wealthy person?" Fan Yu nodded and said, "If it's a fake exchange, this is the pocket money that my father regularly transfers to me every month. I haven't moved it yet, so I just saved it." Damn it. Zhang Qian couldn't help but want to punch Fan Yu twice. Can you stop pretending to be so forced? Does your father give you pocket money worth 44 billion yuan? In fact, this 4 billion yuan is the quarterly rent for Financial Street that Lu Jian asked the finance department to call him yesterday. Last night when he returned to the park, he received a text message notification. However, due to his identity as the owner of the system and Financial Street, he had calmed down and was not too excited. After calming down, Zhang Qian asked, "Do you have any development plans after taking over the company, Xiaoyu? As you have seen from previous experiences, foreign countries may hinder your supply of goods. Even if you have money, you cannot afford such a disaster, can you?" Fan Yu nodded and said, "Of course it won't be the same old routine as before. I have also thought about many things this year. Firstly, our positioning direction is wrong. Photon products do have a market, but we should not act as agents for foreign products. In fact, our country has been making rapid progress, and in the future, the country will mainly support domestic brands. Although foreign products have a market, they will also be suppressed, and the lifeline of goods will be blocked by foreign countries, which poses great risks. Why don't we try domestic products? Maybe we can succeed." Upon hearing Fan Yu's words, Zhang Qianrua pondered. "Well, Xiaoyu, you're right. Domestic products will definitely be strongly supported by the country in the future, while foreign products will eventually be suppressed. It's really possible to succeed with domestic products." Fan Yu nodded and said, "Since our direction has been determined, let's start dealing with the company's affairs. We can retrieve as many former employees as we can, and if there is a shortage of personnel, let the headhunting company help us recruit points. The initial start-up funds will be reduced by a fixed amount. Let's start with 1 or 2 billion yuan. Zhang Qian, who originally had many ideas, suddenly choked on 1 or 2 billion words spoken by Fan Yu. Are you joking? Is 1 or 2 billion still less? However, she doesn't understand the world of wealthy people. Perhaps in the eyes of a god like Fan Yu, 1 or 2 billion yuan is not much. After discussing for a while, the two of them started working boldly. Do whatever you want if you have money, where there's so much nonsense, don't force yourself, do more. Later, Fan Yu asked Zhang Qian to contact an advertising company to help Aoshu advertise. The simplest form of advertising was to buy products and give away gifts, which was a popular commercial tactic, but it was also the most effective. Nowadays, people like to take advantage of small advantages. If they can buy a product and get a gift, of course they will choose this product. Contacting Lu Jian, Fan Yu asked him to leave all of this layer to the Aoshu company, and also asked him to contact a photon product manufacturer. The channels for purchasing have been established, and the company has also expanded, which is perfect and easy to operate. Starting a business is not that difficult at all, and many of the old customers that Aoshu once ran for can be contacted, so there is no need to worry about sales. In the evening, Fan Yu and Zhang Qian studied the matter of building a factory. Although he is now using domestic products, the supply of goods is still a big problem. We cannot always let others pinch us. It is best to have our own factory, and self-supply and self-sales are the right path. And the issue of employee benefits also needs to be improved. Build an independent employee dormitory building, and after working for 30 years, the house can be transferred to employees. Enable employees to enjoy first-class treatment and work diligently. Yes, he is very satisfied with his ideas. Uncle Zhang Qian is an old cadre of an optical product factory with rich experience. She asked Zhang Qian to call her uncle over to help manage the factory, as well as her uncle's cousin who is said to be the workshop director. However, it is only temporary. He currently lacks talent and can only deal with it first. In the future, he will gradually lower the power of Zhang Qian's family to avoid any situation of monopoly in the future. Although I have money now, I cannot let others take advantage of me. End of this chapter. Chapter 4. Maybach 70s, for recommendation and collection. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 4 Maybach 70s, for recommendation and collection. After a busy day, I can finally go home and have a beautiful sleep. Get up the next day. Sign in as scheduled. Ding, starting from today's check.in, has the host chosen to sign in. Sign in. Upon hearing the sound of the system, Fan Yu had already come to his senses. He couldn't miss the check.in, as it was the key to his life taking off. Ding, successful check.in rewards a 20% stake in the Magic City Automobile 4S Store Chamber of Commerce. What are the shares of the 4S Store Chamber of Commerce? Fan Yu was surprised in his heart. Automobile 4S stores are a lucrative industry, and the water in it is very deep. The interests are complex, and many big shots have their own roles in it. And the 4S Dealership Association is jointly established by those big shots. It is also convenient for the management of 4S stores. Many 4S store openings require the Chamber of Commerce to make decisions, and finally go to the Industrial and Commercial Bureau to handle the procedures. There are at least hundreds of 4S stores in the entire Magic City, with low-end, mid-range, high-end, and luxury cars everywhere. Those 4S stores need to pay management fees to the Chamber of Commerce every year for brand promotion and product control. The procedures for the transfer of shares, as well as the corresponding procedures, are all at the Chamber of Commerce. The host only needs to go to the Chamber of Commerce, and it will be handed over to the host by the General Manager of the Chamber of Commerce, Wang Ping. Get up and wash up, take out bread and other food from the limited edition huge freezer, and casually make a breakfast to eat. At this moment, the phone rang, and when it was Zhang Qian's, Fan Yu picked it up casually. "My boss hasn't gotten up yet." Zhang Qian's teasing voice came out, and from her words, it could be heard that after leaving all the heavy responsibilities behind, Zhang Qian became very relaxed. Fan Yu took a sip of milk and said, "Get up, you should go and tidy up the company today. I've already said hello to Lu Jian, and the entire floor belongs to us. Let the headhunting company recruit some talents for us and put the schedule on track as soon as possible." "Okay, boss, I'll be at the company soon." "I'll hang up and say goodbye first," Zhang Qian agreed. After dinner, Fan Yu prepared to go to the 4S dealership to see if he could get a means of transportation. He now has a status and can't even have a car, right? "I took a taxi directly outside the financial street and rushed to the 4S store Chamber of Commerce." Getting off the taxi and looking at the standalone office building, Fan Yu couldn't help but sigh. This 4S dealership is really wealthy. Although this building is not as good as those commercial buildings on his financial street, it is located in a location that is not over 1 billion yuan, making it difficult to build. Entering the Chamber of Commerce lobby, a receptionist politely said, "Excuse me, sir, what kind of business do you want to do?" Fan Yu said, "Could you please help me contact Mr. Wang?" "Just say my name is Fan Yu." The front desk picked up the phone and contacted him. On the other side of the phone, a middle-aged man with some weight loss looked surprised when he heard the front desk say that someone named Fan Yu was looking for him. Has the new shareholder arrived so soon? Not daring to neglect, Wang Ping hung up the phone and quickly came downstairs to welcome Fan Yu. Being able to own 20% of the shares of the 4S Dealership Association is definitely at the level of a big shot. Although he is the general manager and has a stake in the 4S dealership, he is not considered a big deal in front of Fan Yu. Wang Ping hurriedly arrived at the hall and was surprised to see the young Fan Yu. He was so young that he had acquired 20% of the shares of the 4S dealership Chamber of Commerce. How powerful was the force behind him? A 4S dealership is like a financial street. It's not just about having money, it also requires a strong identity. Although Fan Yu is young, Wang Ping dare not underestimate him. "Is that Mr. Fan?" Wang Ping approached and respectfully asked. Fan Yu nodded and said, "Are you General Manager Wang?" "Well, Mr. Fan, please go upstairs." Arriving at his office, Wang Ping poured a glass of water for Fan Yu, then brought the document from his desk and respectfully handed it to Fan Yu. "Mr. Fan, this is your share transfer contract. I have already sorted it out last night. Please take a look." Fan Yu casually glanced at the thick stack, too lazy to look and put it aside. Wang Ping, like Lu Jian, was somewhat surprised by Fan Yu's composure. "Mr. Fan, the annual profit of the 4S Store Association is 7 billion yuan. You have a 20% stake and can receive a share of 1.4 billion yuan. This year's profits will be received soon, and the finance department of the Chamber of Commerce will send them to you." Fan Yu nodded and said, "Well, just transfer it to my account. By the way, do you have any better cars here? I want to find a transportation tool." Wang Ping quickly nodded and said, "Mr. Fan, you happen to be here. Yesterday, a Maybach 70S came in, which is a global limited edition car with a cost of 30 million yuan. It has a brand new electronic induction system, a safety factor of S+, dual control, and maximum output. The top-notch cab management system can definitely give you a different experience." Fan Yu was a bit surprised. Isn't this the ride of an old horse from a previous life? And it seems that the level is even higher than that of the old horse. I didn't expect that in this lifetime, he could still enjoy the treatment of an emperor's carriage. Okay, that's it. Can you get the license plate and go through some procedures here? Wang Ping nodded and said, "Sure, Mr. Fan, wait a moment. I'll notify someone to handle it now." The speed is very fast, and it didn't take half an hour. The license plate and vehicle procedures were already completed. The dazzling and reflective paint, the muscular body of the car, like a crouching giant beast, quietly waiting for the moment of awakening. On the first-floor lobby of the Chamber of Commerce, a Maybach 70S parked quietly there. At this point, there are already many staff members and people coming to handle business taking photos. Maybach 70S, this is the Emperor's car. I never expected to see the legendary car up close in my lifetime. Someone sighed. I don't know which big shot's car it is, I really want to go in and take a seat. Wang Ping accompanied Fan Yu down the stairs, and some of those who knew Wang Ping quickly greeted him. Mr. Wang. Hello Mr. Wang. Wang Ping nodded and respectfully accompanied Fan Yu to the front of the car. Glancing at the license plate, the yellow license plate reads, Shanghai A88888. It's a bit high. Profile. This license plate should be owned by someone else. He doesn't know how Wang Ping got it, but since the market is strong, there is always a way. However, it seems that this car requires a senior driver's license to drive, but if it doesn't delay his driving, it's likely that no one will check this car. Opening the car door, sitting in the driver's cab, the door automatically closes, which is a bit of a Rolls-Royce design concept. Mr. Fan, walk slowly and pay attention to safety on the way. Wang Ping waved his hand and said with concern. As the automatic car window fell down, Fan Yu said, let's deduct the money for the car and procedures from my dividend. I'll leave first. If you have anything to do, please call me. With a wave of his hand, Fan Yu drove away. After Maybach left, someone approached and asked, Mr. Wang, who is that person? How could you personally accompany me? Wang Ping wiped the sweat off his forehead and said lightly, that's a big shot, a new shareholder of the Chamber of Commerce. Hush. The sound of inhaling air conditioning sounded, and many people were still aware of the new shareholders of the Chamber of Commerce. A person who can obtain shares in the Chamber of Commerce, with both absolute strength and financial resources, is a true leader level. Is it the third generation of cattle? End of this chapter. Chapter 5. Enjoying the feeling of interviews. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 5. Enjoying the feeling of interviews waiting for the traffic lights, Fan Yu felt that the driving experience of this Maybach was simply overwhelming. The operation is easy and satisfactory, with no sense of discord at all. However, by accidentally scanning the rearview mirror, Fan Yu was surprised. I saw no car within 10 meters behind my own car, and the nearest ones were all 10 meters away. What are these people doing? Didn't they say that the roads in the Magic City are very crowded? They are so far away from me, and they are not afraid of being blocked. Without much thought, the green light came on, the car started and slowly left. However, 5 seconds after Fan Yu left, the car behind dared to start. They were afraid that the car in front was a novice, and if they mishandled it, they would not pay attention to a rear-end collision, but they would cry and find nowhere to go. Fan Yu's driving skills are quite good. In his past life, he was also an experienced driver who had been certified for 2 months, and the probability of making mistakes was extremely low. On the way back to Financial Street, a silver-white Maserati was driving on the road. 2 women were sitting in the car, driven by a young girl wearing a princess hat and a dress. And in the passenger seat, there is a woman playing with her phone and wearing a designer casual outfit. The 2 of them were chatting and laughing inside the car. Cute, your dad really picked up this Maserati for you. How do you feel? The woman in the co-pilot was playing selfies with her phone and asked. Amazing, my beloved Maserati, the queen of sports cars, drives even better than my previous little Leopard. Of course, this Maserati is also a luxury car worth over 2 million yuan, and your little Leopard is only a few 100,000 yuan. How can it be compared? The female co-pilot pouted. Hello, please drive slowly. Don't let your newly purchased car get you at the scene of a car accident. Lu Mengmeng tightly grasped the steering wheel and said, look around, no car dares to approach me 3 meters. They can't hide from me in time, dare to come up and let me collide. However, at this moment, a car suddenly appeared and merged into their lane from the side lane. If it weren't for Lu Mengmeng's constant concentration, she might have ended up in a rear end. Hey, how do you drive? Maserati shook violently as she dodged the car ahead. Lu Mengmeng looked at the car in front and couldn't help but curse. Lin Sha, the co-pilot, didn't grab her phone and hit her in the face, looking very unhappy. Why didn't you bump into it? He forcefully added the stopper and took full responsibility. However, at this moment, Lu Mengmeng's mouth was wide open. Hello, Sasha, take a look. Is the car in front a Maybach? Lin Sha looked over, but she didn't see the logo for the first time, she saw the license plate. Shanghai A88888. Meng, hurry up, keep up, I want to take photos, TikTok. Wow, Shanghai A88888, who is this big shot? I want to flesh him out. Lin Sha quickly picked up her phone and started taking photos, with a string of numbers edited on the cover. May I ask which big shot this is? After editing, I posted it up. Just as it was posted, Lin Sha's video went viral. The positive reviews from netizens are overwhelming. Wow, the boss of the Magic City, you're in a high position, Shanghai A88888. Hehe, I'll tell you a solution. If you come to a car accident scene, the car owner may come down to meet you and introduce himself in detail. I guess it's a deck game. I'm a local from Magic City, and I'm on the Shanghai A88888 in the Guanghuang Real Estate Luzhendong car. Comment reply. You are also a stick hammer. Shanghai A88888 is no longer in Luzhendong's hands. It is said that it was bought by some big shot, and your news is too outdated. Continue to reply. Actually, Miss Video is also pretty good. Take a look. Some people have seen Lin Sha's other works, which are all about showcasing some luxurious lifestyles, and cannot help but speak out. The video became completely popular and quickly made it onto the playback traffic chart. After reading the comments, Lin Sha quickly said, cute and cute, keep up. The car in front is a limited edition Maybach, which seems to be a newly produced 70s with a price of 30 million yuan. Let's see if we can record a full face or something, maybe we can use this video to become popular. After learning that it was a Maybach worth 30 million yuan, Lu Mengmeng became even more nervous. If she accidentally scratched it, she might not be able to afford to sell her car. Along the way, Fan Yu easily drove to Financial Street and stopped downstairs at the Baolon building. Due to the long body of the car and being a 2-month-old driver, I directly occupied 3 parking spaces to avoid unnecessary trouble caused by going out and rubbing against others. And the entire Financial Street is his, and the parking space is also his. It doesn't matter if you park 3 parking spaces. When the property management personnel saw this scene, they did not step forward to manage it. Working here, they have no vision. Is it possible? At first glance, it looks like a big shot's car, so it's better to have less trouble than more trouble. The 7th floor of Baolon building has now become the property of Aoshu Photon Technology Company. Zhang Qian's action was quick, and she had already started recruiting personnel. Let the Hunter Company below introduce the candidates for her. There are also some old employees who follow Zhang Qian, and those who are capable have been promoted by her. Nowadays, to grow a company, it requires a lot of talent. We cannot do it like before, because of financial constraints, some people hold 2 positions on their own. A product company needs business personnel the most. As long as the business is strong enough, the market can open up quickly. When Fan Yu arrived at the company, he saw many busy figures. A woman wearing work clothes saw Fan Yu and couldn't help but say, "Are you here to apply? Go to the HR department immediately, and the application has already begun." Fan Yu is a bit speechless, is he just like someone who came to apply? When Zhang Qian came out and saw Fan Yu, she couldn't help but shout, "Fan Yu, you're here. The company is very busy now. You go to the office first, and when I'm done, I'll come find you." Fan Yu shook his head and said, "As the owner of the company, I can't just sit and watch as the company is so busy. If you give me your orders, I will be responsible for personnel matters." In his past life, he was actually interviewed and has not yet experienced the feeling of interviewing others. In this life, there is a chance, of course, to experience it. "Okay, I'll instruct the HR department to go over." Fan Yu arrived at the HR department, and the HR manager quickly treated him respectfully. Zhang Qian did not conceal Fan Yu's identity, and Fan Yu did not want to play with those falsehoods, such as being low-key, being afraid of trouble, and so on. He needs to be high-profile and doesn't do things in a high-profile manner. How can he build a reputation? A candidate came in, and Fan Yu sat aside, watching the HR manager interview. He has a list in his hand, and whenever it suits him, he will match it. If it doesn't suit him, he will also pass it. End of this chapter. Chapter 6. National Fitness Club. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The source has no content or has errors. Chapter 7. Bitcoin, Seeking Recommendations and Collections. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 7 Bitcoin, Seeking Recommendation, Seeking Collection, Taking Zhuang Shouting Home, Fan Yu returned to the villa on Financial Street. Fan Yu posted a recruitment message on the recruitment website. If he wants to enter the internet, he needs to recruit some talents first. As for whether he can find top talents in online recruitment, let's hang on. In fact, he has some ideas. The best way to recruit talent is certainly to look for headhunting companies. Online recruitment is just a casual play. However, he also wants to go to the university to have a look. Some college students who are about to graduate are in a state of confusion about entering society in the future. Although the quality of college students varies, there are also half-talents. As long as they are discovered, they can become his cash cow in the future. Unconsciously, it was almost past midnight. A new day was approaching, and Fan Yu looked at the Financial Street documents sent by Lu Jian. Bitcoin. Fan Yu was surprised when he saw a document marked with Bitcoin. Is this world just starting to compare tokens? In his past life, when speculating on Bitcoin, he knew how crazy it was and how many Forbes billionaires he had created. Of course, it was all those financial giants operating behind the scenes, involving huge interests that shocked the world. Only a small part was divided up by others, and the real big cake belonged to those powerful financial conglomerates. But although some people have discovered the huge prospects of Bitcoin, they dare not delve too deep. The water is too deep, especially the manipulation of the banks behind them, which is hard to see or touch, making people feel scared. But in this life, since he has discovered it and also has the strength to play games, why not fight those people? He is feeling bored. Such an exciting thing is right in front of him, how can he miss it? In the previous life, it seemed like the total number of bitcoins was 10 to 20 million, and this world doesn't know how much, but it's okay, just follow up. Bitcoin has not yet fully emerged, but it has a slight trend. Many outsiders may not know what Bitcoin is. Taking a glance at the time, Fan Yu was not in a hurry, but waiting for today's check.in to arrive. Ding, starting from today's check.in, has the host chosen to sign in. At this moment, sign in. Ding, the check.in was successful, and the host obtained 25% of the shares of Air China. Listening to the system prompt in his mind, Fan Yu couldn't help but freeze for a moment. Air China Corporation. Recently, he has also gained some understanding of some profit-making companies in China, including Air China. Air China is a state-owned enterprise, but with its system, it is not surprising that it holds shares. Air China controls all the profitable flights and its assets are absolutely huge. Roughly speaking, Air China's annual profit should also exceed billions, right? However, Air China generally does not have much private ownership. Has the system cleared all private shares and given them to him? The check that in this time was okay, which made him very satisfied. After the check that in was completed, Fan Yu returned to bed and fell into a deep sleep. The next morning, Fan Yu slowly woke up. I slept too late last night and woke up today almost noon. Glancing at the phone, there was a call from Zhang Qian. Zhang Qian should be looking for him due to work issues. I called back to Zhang Qian and it was indeed a company issue. The 3 million yuan product sent by Xingda was sold out again, so I asked him to continue urging Xingda to deliver. I found Lu Jian's phone number and called him. "Hello, boss." As soon as the phone rang, Lu Jian answered. "Fan Yu asked, what happened to that Bitcoin in the file you sent me yesterday?" "Bitcoin? Boss, wait a moment, I'll take a look." Not long after, Lu Jian said, "This is the boss. It was leaked to me by my nephew. I sorted it out and thought it might be valuable to the boss, so I added it to the document." "Your nephew? What does he do?" Fan Yu said curiously. "In theory, it seems that Bitcoin did not attract much attention in the early stages, right? Without a certain identity, it is difficult to obtain this information." "Oh boss, my nephew used to stay on Wall Street for 3 years and recently returned to China. Yesterday, we had a family dinner, and he casually told me." Lu Jian breathed a sigh of relief. He thought the Bitcoin incident was useless news and passed it on to his boss, which made him unhappy. According to Fan Yu's tone, it doesn't seem like that's the case. "So, you ask your nephew to come and meet me, I have something to ask him." Lu Jianlian hurriedly said, "Okay, I'll take him to see you right away." Just as I finished washing up, the doorbell rang. Fan Yu opened the door and saw Lu Jian leading a thin and pale young man standing at the door. "Come on in." Fan Yu let the two of them enter the room. Lu Jian is a bit reserved, but on the contrary, his nephew is relatively calm. It seems to be someone who has seen the world before. After the three of them sat down, Fan Yu asked, "What are you drinking?" "Coffee." Lu Jian quickly stood up and said, "Boss, don't bother, where is the coffee machine?" "I'll go get it." "Turn left, inside the kitchen." Lu Jian stood up and left. Fan Yu looked at the young man in front of him and asked, "How much do you know about Bitcoin?" The young man pondered for a moment and said, "I don't know much, but when I returned to China, there were already rumors of Bitcoin on Wall Street, as if it was a virtual currency. I don't know the specifics." "Are you a trader?" Fan Yu continued to ask. The boy glanced at Fan Yu and nodded, "I guess so, but it's a bit different from those top traders on Wall Street." "It's okay, as long as you know how to market, I'm more interested in Bitcoin. Do you have any ideas to come and help me? Can you believe me? If we don't trust too much in trading, most people won't be at ease. After all, a careless operation may cause people to lose everything. I can ask you to help me with the trading, just trust you." "What are you worried about?" Lu Tianfeng nodded and said, "Okay, when will it start?" "Don't worry, before Bitcoin, please help me buy some shares first." Lu Tianfeng knew that this was Fan Yu testing him, wanting to see if he had real talent and practical learning. "Boss, just say it, I will definitely do it." "Shanghua Securities, a small company with a market value of several hundred million," Fan Yu said calmly. Lu Tianfeng took down his name and prepared to perform well. At this moment, Lu Jian walked out carrying 3 cups of coffee. "Boss, your coffee." Fan Yu took a sip of the coffee and nodded, "The concentration is okay, but it's a bit bitter." "Okay, boss, I'm going to refill your glass now," Lu Jian said quickly. Fan Yu shook his head and said, "Next time." Lu Jian keeps in mind that Fan Yu likes to drink sweet coffee, and he will definitely not do it again next time. End of this chapter. Chapter 8. Big Shot, seeking recommendation, seeking collection. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 8. Big shot, seeking recommendation, seeking collection, driving. Fan Yu's phone on the driver's console sounded a text message prompt sound. Account **** 3,345 transferred 4 billion yuan at 12.30 on March 12, 2020, with a current balance of 83 million yuan. Account **** 3,345 transferred 200 million renminbi on March 12, 2020 at 12.31, with a current balance of 850 million renminbi. Account **** 3,345 transferred 14 million renminbi on March 12, 2020 at 12.31, with a current balance of 987,200,000 renminbi. The bombardment of 3 consecutive messages almost made Fan Yu, who was driving Maybach with one hand, unable to grip the steering wheel. These 3 messages, if exchanged for ordinary people, would probably be easily pulled out with a jerk. Billions of income, even in my dreams, happened to Fan Yu. What are the benefits of Air China, for stores, chambers of commerce, and national fitness clubs? These 3 of his industries have never had any transfer information, and I didn't expect them to come together today. These are the annual returns of the 3 industries, although not as good as the quarterly returns of Financial Street, they are also huge funds. Just as he is preparing to enter the battle between the internet and Bitcoin recently, this money can hold him up for a while. It's nothing, Fan Yu is planning to go shopping. Anyway, he has money, so he definitely needs to give it a try. Even if he's not a loser, he should give it a try. The Magic City Commercial Street can be considered the largest shopping mall in China. There are all the famous brands from around the world in the Commercial Street, and of course, the prices are definitely very expensive. In the Commercial Street, there are numerous shops on both sides of the road, all of which are international luxury brands, which are eye-catching. Rolex Specialty Store, Fan Yu walked in. The salesperson quickly stepped forward to receive Fan Yu, who was wearing handmade clothes. As a luxury goods salesperson, the most important thing was having a discerning eye. The salesperson warmly welcomed Fan Yu, especially surprised to see the watch on his wrist. Rich watch Richard RM 26.0119 million. This watch was found in the office villa on Fan Yu Financial Street and feels very suitable, so I carried it with me. As for what it is, I don't know. Take us around and let's take a look. If there's anything we like, I'll take it. Okay, sir, this way, please. The salesperson had a bitter smile in his heart. Are you still buying a watch with 19 million yuan? However, she doesn't understand the world of tycoons and can only focus on serving. Rolex exclusive store, very large, with a complete range of products, such as Green Water Ghost, Full Sky Star, and so on. Rolex is not as prestigious as Patek Philippe or Ste Denton, but it is also a top-tier watch. Can you take out that watch and let me take a look? Arriving at a counter, Fan Yu said to the salesperson. The salesperson looked delighted and carefully took out a latest Green Water Ghost. Sir, this is our Rolex new Green Water Ghost watch, crafted with a brand new technology. The accessories inside are all made of top-notch materials, making it definitely worth the money. I remember this Green Water Ghost was very popular online. Fan Yu looked at the Green Water Ghost and said. Sir, this Green Water Ghost is not the ordinary Green Water Ghost found online. The highest Green Water Ghost is only a few $100,000, while this one costs 5.7 million. Fan Yu nodded, feeling that the Green Water Ghost's recognition should be quite high. When others see the Green Water Ghost, they should know that he is wealthy. Of course, Fan Yu was just joking and bought it for fun. Not bad, that's it. How, really, so how? This is the most genuine idea in the minds of salespeople. He is truly someone who can wear Richard's watch. He can buy a watch worth millions of dollars as he pleases. He has seen many people come to buy Rolex, but the one like Fan Yu who is so happy is still the first, and it is also a watch worth 5.7 million yuan. Pack up, Fan Yu casually picked it up and left. The salesperson really wants Fan Yu to apply for a membership card. If Fan Yu applies for a membership card, he can get Fan Yu's information and maybe use his phone number to add WeChat. A salesperson selling luxury goods, who doesn't want to find a wealthy and handsome person. It's even rarer to meet someone you like. After all, although there are many wealthy second-generation people, they have not reached the level where the streets are full of them. Only such places selling luxury goods have the greatest possibility of appearing. Unfortunately, she and Fan Yu missed out on the opportunity to make a connection, or it could be that Fan Yu didn't want this kind of connection. Later, Fan Yu bought some clothes, including Versace and Armani. The big and small packages were thrown into the trunk and left Xingda Square directly. To be honest, it's a satisfying feeling. With his endless money to spend now, buying things can indeed make people easily satisfied. No wonder many women are shopping enthusiasts, they should also feel the same way. While driving, Fan Yu saw an unfamiliar phone number and answered it. Hello, hello. Excuse me, is this Mr. Fan? Fan Yu nodded and said, yes. Mr. Fan, I am Lu Tianfeng. The stocks you asked me to purchase have been completed. Please log into your account to check. Okay, please wait a moment. Open the mobile stock software, proficiently operate it, and enter the stock interface. Enter your newly created account and you will see a row of trading information, as well as the price increase of the purchased stocks. The stock he asked Lu Tianfeng to buy is from Shanghua Securities Company. In fact, buying stocks from Shanghua Securities Company is just a casual play and a test of Lu Tianfeng's trading. Very good, Lu Tianfeng did not disturb the people of Shanghua Securities Company at all. He used multiple accounts to acquire individual stocks, and also acquired the shares of several shareholders. It was easy for those shareholders to cash out. Not bad, you have completed it perfectly. Next, you can help me acquire Bitcoin, but we cannot let anyone discover that you are acquiring Bitcoin in large quantities, especially our identities. If you can do this, let's start. If not, I will be looking for others. Lu Tianfeng pondered on the other end of the phone. Don't worry, Mr. Fan. I know, I will definitely complete the task. Well, Tianfeng, as long as you help me finish this task, I will definitely not treat you unfairly. Now I will transfer 10 million to you as an advance payment for your salary. Work hard and I will take good care of you. There are too many of them, Mr. Fan. Fan Yudao said, you deserve it. Acquiring Bitcoin is not a small matter, there are risks involved. Copying Bitcoin is indeed very risky because it involves many big players. They don't know if Bitcoin will eventually stir up the virtual currency world like it did in their past lives, but they also need to be careful and sail the ship for thousands of years. Virtual currency has always had a low resale value, but unlike Bitcoin, it has multiplied upwards. In a few years, perhaps the money he invested can be retrieved dozens of times. Even creating a trillion-dollar billionaire is not impossible. The trillion yuan is a huge number, he doesn't know, but the value of Erma definitely can't match him. Hang up the phone, cancel the account, and turn off the phone. End of this chapter. Chapter 9. Brilliant Real Estate Company, for recommendation and collection. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 9. Brilliant Real Estate Company, seeking recommendation and collection. After hanging up with Lu Tianfeng, Fan Yu returned to the garden. He is planning to create a nationwide app, so he needs to become a popular internet celebrity. He feels that Zhuang Xiaoting can be suitable as the banner internet celebrity of the app, and a professional fitness coach can support her. After settling down, Fan Yu had some food and rested. There was nothing to say all night, and in the morning, Fan Yu's mind once again rang with the system's prompt sound as promised. Ding, check.in starts today. Sign in. The daily check.in, like a lottery draw, is so exciting. Ding, successful check.in, the host has obtained a set of Tang Chen's first class intelligent duplex building. A house of Tang Chen's first grade. Fan Yu gave a faint smile. Tangchen EP is the most expensive place for housing prices in the Magic City, with an ordinary house costing billions, making it an absolute gathering place for wealthy people. Of course, the first grade of Tangchen is just expensive housing prices, and if it is so high-end, it cannot be called. However, the first grade of Tangchen is a symbol of wealth, and it is precisely because of the high housing prices that countless people enjoy it. The real estate certificate of Tangchen EP is not sent by people like in Financial Street, but directly issued by the system. At 7 o'clock in the morning, it's rare to get up early. After washing up, Fan Yu drove to Zhang Qian's company. Entering the company, Zhang Qian has already started working and is busy. There are a lot of documents to sign every day, and these 2 days have exhausted Zhang Qian. "Boss," said an employee. Upon hearing that the boss had arrived, the entire company's gaze turned to him. Fan Yu smiled and said, "Good morning everyone." Nowadays, the revenue of Aoshu Company is very considerable, with nearly 1 million yuan in revenue per day. Due to its good reputation and a large amount of advertising promotion, most photon products in the country will choose Aoshu Photon Technology Company. "You're here, I've added 10 million more goods to Santa Fe, but now relying solely on Santa Fe may not be able to meet our market demand." Zhang Qian saw Fan Yu and spoke up. "The establishment of the factory seems to be on the agenda soon. The technicians should be able to arrive today. Please have someone pick it up at the airport. I'll go there myself." Zhang Qian nodded. "I have already arranged for the site selection of the factory. Once the technicians arrive, let uncle and big brother learn technology from them. Have you contacted the construction party for the factory's construction? How long will it take to complete the construction?" Fan Yu frowned and said. "Zhang Qian. It will take about 3 months. No, it's too slow. 1 month at the latest. If they don't work, we'll switch to another one. Give me the builder's phone number, and I will personally tell him." Fan Yu wanted to call the construction company directly. The phone rang for a while before slowly connecting. "Hey, who is that?" A man's voice sounded as if he had not woken up yet. Fan Yu frowned and said, "Are you the brilliant builder Gao Yi?" "I'm Takano, who are you?" "You called early this morning." "I am Fan Yu, the chairman of Aoshu Photon Technology Company. I just heard General Manager Zhang Qian say, it will take you 3 months to build the factory building." Upon hearing that it was the project discussed yesterday, Gao Yi regained some clarity. "Yes, 3 months is considered fast, but if it's slower, it might take 5 months. No, it's too slow. If you can finish it in a month, I'll give it to you. If not, I'll switch to someone else." Fan Yu said in a deep voice. "Hehe, do you think the construction of the factory building is so easy? It's still a month, don't want quality anymore. You ask the whole Magic City, who dares to take on the project that I won't take on. If you don't package it to me, the factory won't be built in time." Doodle. The phone received a busy tone and the other party hung up. Glory is one of the top real estate companies in the Magic City. It is said that even in the construction of Tangchen EP, Glory participated in it. Although it only included small projects, it also invested nearly 1 billion yuan. In the office, Zhang Qian heard the conversation between Fan Yu and Gao Yi, and when she saw the phone hanging up, she didn't know what to say for a moment. "It's really interesting." Fan Yu now restrained his smile. "Fan Yu, why don't we try other companies? There are also several real estate companies with strong and glorious strength in the Magic City. The construction of the factory building by Aoshu Company is a major project, and the price offered by Aoshu Company is very high, nearly 100 million yuan. The construction of a factory is not as complex as building construction, requiring too much manpower and material resources. As long as the factory is sturdy, a workshop can be built in a few days. As long as you work day and night for a month, you can definitely achieve it. Glory is a strong real estate company that always wants to earn more because of its strong financial resources and network. Projects like Aoshu Company naturally want to make more profits. If Aoshu finds another construction company, they will let Aoshu know their glorious strength. End of this chapter. 10. Chapter 10. Come see me directly, for recommendation, for collection. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 10. Meet me directly, for recommendation and collection. No need, you don't need to worry about this matter. Once the technicians arrive, they'll leave it to you. Fan Yu stood up and left the company. Fan Yu left the company, sat in the car, and called Lu Jian. Boss. As soon as the phone rang, Lu Jian answered. Please contact the brilliant Lu Zhendong and let him come to see me. Hanging up the phone, listening to the beep, Lu Jian could feel Fan Yu's anger even through the phone. Lu Jian quickly found Lu Zhendong's phone and dialed it. Lu Zhendong is also a famous figure in the Magic City, and of course Lu Jian knows him. Huh, Mr. Lu, why did you think of calling me today? A burst of hearty laughter came over. Lu Jianchen said in a deep voice, my boss wants to see you. Your boss? Lu Zhendong's expression became solemn. There was only one person who could be called the boss by Lu Jian, and that was the owner of the financial street. The glorious real estate group does have strength, but it also scores higher than anyone else. Those who rank among the top in the world and occupy the entire financial street are not the real big shots that Glorious can match. Does Mr. Lu know what's going on? I don't know, but the boss seems very unhappy. Lu Jian said in a deep voice. I'll go over now. Is it on Financial Street? Yes. Before driving to the park, Lu Jian had already waited here. Seeing the standalone villa symbolizing identity, Lu Zhendong felt a little pressure in his heart. However, upon seeing the parked cars and license plates in the courtyard, Lu Zhendong's expression was taken aback. Shanghai A88888 was once his license plate. When he first obtained this license plate, it was relatively early. Later, it was bought by a big shot and only gave him 1 million yuan. Just kidding, Shanghai A88888, even in the past, it was more than just this amount, at least 5 million or more. But that big shot couldn't justify it. Giving him 1 million is giving him a step down. Even if it's for nothing, he probably has to deliver it obediently. With a fearful attitude, he followed Lu Jian into the villa. Fan Yu is reading a magazine on the living room sofa. Boss, people are here. Mr. Fan, I am honored to have met you. Lu Zhendong said directly and enthusiastically, with excitement on his face. Although it is a harmonious society, Fan Yu's strength is strong. If he doesn't give face, he won't do anything to him. But the consequence was that his company was acquired, and even more cruelly, there was a threat of bankruptcy, turning him into a destitute overnight. It's not a joke. If the annual rent on Financial Street can catch up with the market value of his group, Fan Yu definitely has that strength. You should know that rent is real gold and silver, while his company is only based on market value. Fan Yu calmly put down the magazine in his hand and pointed to the document on the coffee table, saying, Lu Dong, take a look. Lu Zhendong walked forward in confusion and picked up the document to read. Mr. Fan has a project he wants our company to do. Lu Zhendong originally thought that Fan Yu had come to him, but he had offended the other party. He didn't expect that he was going to talk to him about cooperation. Is it so troublesome for a project? Just say no directly on the phone. Why bother stirring up trouble like this, causing me to worry all morning and thinking something was wrong? However, Lu Jian on the side, through recent interactions, has gained some understanding of Fan Yu. The boss has always been approachable, and if it's just a business transaction, it would definitely not be like this. Look down. Fan Yu said lightly. Lu Zhendong flipped over to the back of the document in confusion, and was shocked when he saw the signature of Vice General Manager Gao Yi of Brilliant Group behind him. Did you see? I have already finished negotiating the Brilliant contract with you, but there's one thing that makes me feel interesting. This morning, I called your company's Vice President Gao Yi because the company I co-founded with a friend is going to build a factory, and time is a bit tight. I wanted him to rush the project, but he told me it's not possible. He also said, the entire Magic City, they are brilliant and don't take on the project, and no one dares to take it. Are you saying it's interesting? I want to find someone to build a factory, but why doesn't anyone dare to take over? Is what I'm doing illegal? Mr. Fan, don't get angry yet. Maybe what Gao Yi said was a joke. I'll call and ask now. No need, just let him come over and say those words in front of me, I'll see if he's joking. Fan Yu sneered and said. Lu Jian pushed his glasses and said, Mr. Lu, follow Mr. Fan's instructions. How did Gao Yi become the Vice President of Glory? No brain. Lu Jian is a bit puzzled. Okay, Mr. Fan, I'll have him come over now. Brother-in-law, why did you wake up so early today? Takano answered the phone. Lu Zhendong said in a low voice, did you take on a project from an Arcane company yesterday? Yeah. What's wrong? Gao Yi was a bit puzzled. What was going on today? In the morning, a chairman who claimed to be from Aoshu Company called him and gave him a command to complete the project within a week. Now, his brother-in-law is also calling to inquire about Aoshu Company. I am currently with the chairman of Aoshu Company. Can you come over too? The phone hung up, and Takano was startled to sit up from the bed. A 29-year-old wife beside her asked, what's wrong with my husband? What's causing you to do this? I'm going out, the chairman is looking for me. After finishing speaking, I put on my clothes and hurriedly went downstairs, driving towards Financial Street. Although the roads in Mordo were very congested, Takano quickly arrived here. Entering the villa, Gao Yi had a feeling of Lu Lao entering the mansion, and his heart was filled with shock. He had never heard of a park within a park on Financial Street. Brother-in-law, I'm late. Gao Yi wiped the sweat off his forehead. Lu Zhendong said expressionlessly, let me introduce you to Mr. Lu, the general manager of the Financial Street Property Responsibility Company. Ah, hello Mr. Lu. Gao Yi quickly stepped forward to shake hands with Lu Jian. But Lu Jianjian had no intention of reaching out. That's my boss over there, Mr. Fan. Today is the boss looking for you. Gao Yi awkwardly withdrew his hand and looked at Fan Yu. At first glance, he was young and handsome. He should be over 1.80 meters tall, but although he was young, sitting there had a compelling aura. Hello Mr. Fan. Takano dared not step forward and stood in place, greeting. Mr. Gao, don't you know me so soon? Fan Yu said with a playful smile on his lips. Gao Yi glanced carefully at Fan Yu and shook his head, saying, Mr. Fan, how could I possibly know someone like you? Didn't I just finish talking to Mr. Gao on the phone this morning? Mr. Gao is so forgetful. Morning. A unimaginable scene came to Gao Ye's mind. This. Fan Yu nodded and said, not bad, I am the chairman of that Arcane company. Mr. Fan, it was you who called this morning. I didn't wake up this morning. I apologize for any offense. End of this chapter.